The month of February is winding down, and so is winter. Before you know it, spring will be here, and so will tax time. Linda Sexton's a tax expert from Jackson Hewitt, and she's here with some tax tips for newlyweds. Newlyweds, what a fun and exciting thing to be talking about whenever you're a newlywed. Doing your taxes. That's romantic, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is. And sometimes, and this is an area that people get into a lot of trouble with early on, and they really need to be sure they're doing it right. Because most people think that whatever you are the most of the year is what you are for tax purposes. For example, 45 years ago when I got married on December the 15th. Well, in my mind, I was probably thinking, of course, I wasn't thinking taxes back then, but
I'm sure. Yeah.
But in my mind, I would have thought, well, I was single most of the year,
so I need to.
So I would file single.
Right.
That is not true. The law is whatever you are on the last day of the year is what you are for tax purposes.
The calendar year.
The calendar year.
December
so that's
31st.
Important. Right. So
11:59.
Right. So that's what's important. So you could be single all year and get married on New Year's Eve, and you'd be considered married without, for IRS purposes. So that's where a lot of people gets into trouble. And then you get into when, and a lot of people the first year they file together. Sometimes it's a happy thing, but lots of times it's not, especially when two people gets married that has been head of household and has had children. And their incomes fit in the range that they qualify for earned income credit. And so they both qualify.
Somebody's going to lose that.
They both are, because when you file jointly, the income's too high, and it throws them out, kicks them out. So lots of times, that's bad news when they file their taxes.
So if you're married, can you continue to file single and then somebody get the EIOC or?
No.
No.
The problem is if whatever you are on the last day of the year, then you're married.
So you can tell I've never been married before, so I know nothing about it.
Well, so then when you are determined that you're legally married by IRS, then what happens is that you either have to file married jointly or married filing separately. Married filing separately is not head of household. Married filing separately doesn't qualify for most credits. You lose a lot of deductions. And the only time you would ever want to file separately, there's a few times where the income, it pays for husband and wife to file separately. Another reason you might want to file separately is if you know that your spouse is not reporting all their income, because when you file jointly, you become responsible for those taxes too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So kind of, I hate to say it, because marriage is supposed to be a partnership, but you're kind of covering your own backside there.
Yes.
All right. So if you're married to Tony Soprano, you might want to keep that in mind.
Right.
Now, when you do separately as married, like say, I make about 45 cents a day, and I marry a woman that makes $1 million a year. We want to file separately because I don't want to get taxed on that $1 million a year, right? I want to get taxed on 45 cents. Is that how it works?
Right.
Super.
But we need to talk
I have this figured out.
But we need to talk about how that all came about.
No, we don't. No, we don't. All right, Linda, I'm sorry, we're tragically short on time, but you always say get organized.
Yes,
People
get organized.
People can pick these up from
yes.
you guys free, right?
Our offices has these organizers. They're free. And, when it doesn't matter if you're married, just newlyweds or what, taxes is one of the most important things you do all year long. Don't get messed up by going it on your own or going to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. Get somebody that's knowledgeable.
All right, super. Linda, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
If you've got tax questions, just call 205-339-1895 or learn more online at jacksonhewitt.com.